Welcome to a journey through one of the most breathtaking countries on Earth, New Zealand. This is a land where glaciers meet rainforests, where volcanoes rise alongside tranquil lakes, and where every turn reveals a treasure waiting to be discovered. Some places are world famous, like Queenstown and Milford Sound, while others remain hidden gems tucked away from the usual travel maps. Together, they weave a story of beauty, culture, and adventure unlike anywhere else. From stargazing under some of the clearest skies in the world to exploring ancient forests and remote islands, this journey uncovers the wonders that make New Zealand unforgettable. So, sit back and get ready to explore 26 incredible destinations, both iconic and unknown. Milford Sound. Imagine a place where sheer cliffs rise straight out of the sea, waterfalls tumble hundreds of meters down into deep waters, and mist rolls in with a kind of cinematic drama that feels like nature itself is directing a show. That is Milford Sound, often called the eighth wonder of the world. Carved by glaciers over millions of years, this fjord offers a landscape so otherworldly that even on a cloudy day, it feels like stepping into a storybook. The magic of Milford Sound is in its ever-changing moods. On a sunny afternoon, the cliffs glow golden and rainbows shimmer in the spray of Stirling and Bowen Falls. When rain sweeps through, and it often does, countless hidden waterfalls suddenly appear, cascading down the steep rock walls as though the landscape is revealing secrets only visible in fleeting moments. Visitors cruising through these waters can spot playful dolphins surfing beside boats, seals lounging on rocky outcrops, and if fortune allows, the elusive Fiordland crested penguin making an appearance along the shoreline. For those drawn to exploration on foot, the Milford Track, one of New Zealand's renowned great walks, winds through valleys, past ancient forests, and toward views that few places on Earth can rival. This is more than a fjord. It is a living masterpiece of nature, a place where silence carries as much weight as sound, and where every glance upward reveals something even grander. Milford Sound is not just seen, it is felt. A reminder of how breathtakingly powerful and tender nature can be at the same time. Queenstown. If Milford Sound is a place of quiet grandeur, Queenstown is its energetic counterpart, a destination where adrenaline and beauty collide in spectacular ways. Nestled between the dramatic Southern Alps and the serene expanse of Lake Wakatipu, Queenstown is widely celebrated as the adventure capital of the world. But the appeal here isn't only in the thrill. It's also in how seamlessly adventure, nature, and culture blend together. The birthplace of commercial bungee jumping, Queenstown still lures thrill seekers to leap from the iconic Kawarau Bridge, a heart-pounding plunge that has become a global rite of passage. Just beyond town, the shot of her jet slices through narrow canyons, spinning and skimming across the water so close to the rocky walls that it feels impossible. In winter, the surrounding ski fields of Coronet Peak and the Remarkables transform the area into a snowy wonderland, offering slopes for both beginners and seasoned pros. Yet Queenstown is not only for daredevils. Its charm extends to scenic walks along the lakeshore, gondola rides to skyline Queenstown for panoramic views, and leisurely evenings spent in vibrant cafes and restaurants that reflect the town's international character. The lake itself, calm and glassy in the mornings, mirrors the peaks towering above it, creating postcard-perfect scenes at every turn. Whether it's skydiving at sunrise, sipping a glass of local wine, or simply soaking in the alpine serenity, Queenstown offers a balance of exhilaration and relaxation that makes it truly unforgettable. The Catlins. In the southeastern corner of New Zealand's South Island lies a region that feels like a secret even locals whisper about: the Catlins. Unlike bustling tourist hubs, the Catlins invite visitors into landscapes that feel untouched, where nature still runs the show. It is a place of contrasts: serene waterfalls tucked deep into lush forest, fossilized forests that transport you back millions of years, and wild coastlines where rare wildlife thrives. One of the Catlins' crown jewels is Purakaunui Falls, a cascading, multi-tiered waterfall framed by dense native bush. It's the kind of scene that photographers dream of capturing, but standing before it in person carries a presence no image can quite replicate. Then there's Curio Bay, where at low tide, the remains of a petrified Jurassic forest are revealed, a reminder that this land has stories stretching back through time itself. The sense of wonder deepens when Hector's dolphins, among the rarest in the world, appear in the surf nearby, darting and playing in the waves with a liveliness that makes the bay feel even more alive. The Catlins are also home to cathedral caves, towering sea caverns accessible only at low tide. Stepping inside, with the thunder of waves echoing through the cavernous interior, is both humbling and awe-inspiring. This is not a region that shouts for attention. Instead, it speaks in whispers, in fossils, in echoes, and in the sight of penguins waddling across remote beaches at dusk. For those willing to wander a little farther off the main path, the Catlins reward with a deep sense of discovery and connection to an ancient and wild New Zealand. Before diving into the next destination, let's pause for something fun. Which of these birds is considered New Zealand's national symbol? A. Kia. B. Kiwi. C. Kakapo. D. Tui. Drop your answer in the comments. All right, back to the journey. Mount Cook/Aoraki. From the misty coasts of the Catlins, the path leads upward into a realm where mountains pierce the sky. Welcome to Mount Cook National Park, home to Aoraki, New Zealand's highest peak, standing tall at 3,724 meters. Its Maori name, Aoraki, translates to cloud piercer, and standing before it, the name makes perfect sense. The mountain doesn't just dominate the skyline, it commands it. The park itself spans over 70,000 hectares of alpine wilderness, a place where glaciers, braided rivers, and ice-carved valleys tell the story of powerful natural forces at work over millions of years. Among its highlights is the Hooker Valley Track, a walking trail that offers breathtaking views of snow-capped peaks and suspension bridges stretching across rushing rivers. The path culminates at Hooker Glacier Lake, where icebergs drift silently in pale, milky waters, as though time itself has slowed. Not far away lies the Tasman Glacier, the longest in New Zealand, stretching an impressive 27 kilometers. Taking a guided boat trip across its terminal lake allows visitors to get close to floating icebergs, some towering like sculptures against the alpine backdrop. The experience is at once exhilarating and sobering, as the shrinking glacier serves as a visible reminder of the shifting climate. Mount Cook National Park also holds deep cultural significance, woven into Maori legends and regarded as a sacred landscape. Here, the silence of the peaks is broken only by the crunch of boots on gravel trails or the distant rumble of shifting ice. It is a place of grandeur and reflection, where mountains rise not only into the sky, but into memory, leaving every traveler with an imprint of awe. Lake Tekapo. There are lakes, and then there is Lake Tekapo, a body of water that seems to glow with a light all its own. The first glimpse of its shimmering turquoise surface is unforgettable, the color so vivid it feels like stepping into a dream. This brilliant hue comes from fine glacial rock particles suspended in the water, scattering sunlight into an otherworldly shade of blue-green that shifts with every ripple. On the lakeshore stands one of New Zealand's most photographed landmarks, the Church of the Good Shepherd. This humble stone chapel, framed by the sweeping Southern Alps in the distance, creates a scene that feels timeless, as though it were placed there by nature itself. Visitors pause here, not only for photos, but also for quiet reflection, the lake and mountains providing a backdrop that inspires a deep sense of stillness. Yet the magic of Lake Tekapo doesn't end when the sun sets. Once darkness falls, the region transforms into one of the world's greatest stargazing destinations. Designated as part of a UNESCO Dark Sky Reserve, the area boasts some of the clearest skies anywhere on Earth. On a crisp night, the Milky Way stretches overhead in dazzling clarity, mirrored softly on the lake's calm surface. At Mount John Observatory, powerful telescopes open a window to galaxies, nebulae, and star clusters that feel impossibly far away, yet suddenly within reach. Day or night, Lake Tekapo embodies wonder in two forms, the earthly and the celestial. It is a place where landscapes dazzle under sunlight, and then, with a simple turn of the clock, the cosmos takes center stage, reminding every visitor just how vast and magical the universe can be. Franz Josef and Fox Glaciers. From the starlit skies of Tekapo, the path winds toward landscapes where ice meets rainforest, a rare phenomenon that makes Franz Josef and Fox Glaciers so extraordinary. These icy giants descend from the Southern Alps all the way down to near sea level, creating a dramatic contrast where lush greenery thrives just steps from walls of ice. It is a union of opposites that feels almost surreal, like watching two worlds collide in harmony. Franz Josef Glacier, despite its breathtaking beauty, tells a sobering story. It is retreating at an average of 70 meters per year, a stark reminder of how swiftly the Earth's climate is shifting. Still, each visit offers a unique experience, with guided hikes leading explorers across icy surfaces, past crevasses, and into caves of blue ice that glimmer like crystal cathedrals. For those who prefer a bird's-eye view, helicopter tours reveal the full scope of this frozen wonder, soaring over towering peaks and rivers of ice that snake through the valley. Nearby lies Fox Glacier, slightly longer and less steep, stretching over 13 kilometers. Its flow creates landscapes just as captivating, offering visitors a chance to trek across ancient ice or simply admire the glacier's scale from safe viewpoints. A short distance away, Lake Matheson provides a quieter spectacle. On still days, the water perfectly reflects Mount Cook and Mount Tasman, a mirror image so precise it feels like a trick of the eye. The glaciers are more than just tourist stops. They are living, shifting reminders of Earth's raw power and fragility. Standing before them, with rainforest at your back and towering walls of ice ahead, feels like stepping into the very heart of nature's paradox, where opposites exist side by side in perfect balance. Abel Tasman National Park. On the northern tip of New Zealand's South Island lies a coastal paradise that feels like it was painted into existence. Abel Tasman National Park. Golden beaches curve gently into turquoise waters. Lush native forests stretch right down to the sand, and every bay and cove seems to hold a secret waiting to be discovered. Unlike the rugged peaks or glaciers elsewhere, Abel Tasman offers a softer kind of beauty, one that invites visitors to linger and soak in its warmth. The Abel Tasman Coast Track, one of New Zealand's great walks, winds for days along the shoreline, revealing vistas that shift from forested ridges to sweeping beaches where the Tasman Sea sparkles under the sun. But walking is only half the adventure here. Kayaking is another way to explore, paddling alongside playful seals, gliding through hidden coves, and drifting across waters so clear you can spot marine life swimming below. Dolphins are sometimes spotted in these waters too, adding to the sense of wonder. The park also carries a deep history. Named after Dutch explorer Abel Tasman, who first sighted New Zealand in 1642, it holds stories of both Maori and European heritage. Evidence of early Maori settlement can be found here, and the land continues to hold cultural significance for local iwi tribes. This connection adds a layer of richness to the natural beauty, reminding visitors that every view comes with centuries of human story intertwined. Unlike many remote wilderness areas, Abel Tasman is remarkably accessible. Visitors can enjoy just a day trip or spend several days venturing deeper into its coves and forests. Whether hiking, kayaking, or simply lying on a sun-warmed stretch of sand, Abel Tasman is a reminder that paradise is often found in the simplest of moments. Waves lapping at the shore, sunlight filtering through trees, and the feeling of being exactly where you're meant to be. Wellington. From sunlit coasts to a vibrant capital, the journey arrives in Wellington, New Zealand's lively and windswept city by the sea. Nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling harbor, Wellington is often described as the coolest little capital in the world, and it more than earns the title. What sets it apart is not size or scale, but spirit, a creative cultural pulse that runs through its streets and neighborhoods. At the heart of this energy stands Te Papa Tongarewa, the National Museum. Far from being a static collection of artifacts, Te Papa is alive with interactive exhibits that bring New Zealand's history, culture, and natural wonders into vivid focus. Visitors can walk through recreated environments, learn about Maori traditions, and even come face-to-face with a colossal squid, one of the museum's most famous residents. The experience is both educational and deeply engaging, sparking curiosity in every corner. But Wellington's appeal doesn't end at the museum doors. A ride on the city's iconic cable car transports visitors from the busy center to the leafy suburb of Kelburn, with sweeping views of the harbor and city skyline unfolding along the way. At the top, the Botanic Gardens offer a peaceful escape, filled with winding paths, seasonal blooms, and quiet corners perfect for slowing down. Wellington is also a hub for food lovers, boasting a cafe culture that rivals cities many times its size. From craft breweries to eclectic restaurants tucked along laneways, the city invites exploration one bite or sip at a time. And when the famous Wellington winds sweep through, it only adds character, as though the city itself insists on being remembered. With its mix of culture, nature, and charm, Wellington proves that capitals don't need to be grand to be unforgettable. They just need to have heart. Tongariro National Park. If there's a place in New Zealand that feels as though it belongs to another planet, it is Tongariro National Park. Here, Volcanic craters, steaming vents, and jewel-toned lakes form a landscape that is both harsh and breathtaking, a place where the Earth's raw power is always on display. It is New Zealand's oldest national park and also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized not only for its natural beauty, but also for its cultural importance to the Maori people. At the heart of the park lies the Tongariro Alpine Crossing, often celebrated as one of the world's greatest day hikes. This 19.4-kilometer trek takes walkers across a terrain that shifts dramatically with every step. One moment, the ground crunches underfoot with old lava flows, and the next, the path opens up to views of the Emerald Lakes, pools so vividly turquoise they almost seem unreal. Their color comes from dissolved volcanic minerals, shimmering against the dark, rugged landscape like scattered gemstones. 3 active volcanoes dominate the skyline here: Tongariro, Ngauruhoe, and Ruapehu. Each carries its own presence, both geologically and culturally. Mount Ngauruhoe, with its perfect conical shape, has gained fame on screen as Mount Doom in the Lord of the Rings films. But to Maori, these mountains are sacred, woven into ancestral stories and traditions. In winter, Ruapehu transforms into a snow sports haven, offering ski fields that combine thrill with the surreal experience of skiing on an active volcano. Whether walking a short track to waterfalls like Taranaki Falls, standing in awe of steaming craters, or gazing at the volcanic landscape under a wide sky, Tongariro National Park delivers an experience that is dramatic, otherworldly, and unforgettable. It is a place that humbles and inspires in equal measure, where every trail tells a story of fire, water, and deep cultural roots. Rotorua. Leaving the volcanic craters behind, the journey continues to Rotorua, a destination where nature's fiery heart beats close to the surface. Here, geothermal wonders mingle with rich Maori traditions, creating an experience that is as much about culture as it is about landscapes. Rotorua is famous for its bubbling mud pools, steaming vents, and vividly colored hot springs that feel like a palette spilled across the earth. One of the highlights is Tipuia, home to the mighty Pohutu Geyser, the largest active geyser in the Southern Hemisphere. Erupting up to 30 meters high, it provides a show of power and beauty that never fails to impress. Around it, pools shimmer in shades of emerald and orange, their colors born from mineral deposits that make the ground itself glow with life. Walking through this geothermal wonderland is a reminder of how alive the earth truly is. Yet Rotorua is not just about its volcanic landscapes. It is also a center of Maori culture, offering opportunities to experience traditions that are deeply rooted in the land. Visitors are often welcomed into villages where performances of the haka stir both energy and respect. Stories are passed down with pride, and meals are prepared in a way unlike anywhere else. The hangshams, a feast cooked underground using heated stones and geothermal energy, is not only delicious but also a cultural experience in itself, nature literally providing the oven. For a quieter side of Rotorua, the towering redwood forest offers trails for walking or biking beneath trees that seem to touch the sky, their stillness a striking contrast to the bubbling, steaming earth nearby. This duality, fiery and calm, ancient and ever-changing, is what makes Rotorua so compelling. It is a place where culture and geology meet in a harmony that feels uniquely and profoundly New Zealand. Hobbiton, Matamata. Tucked away in the rolling green hills of Matamata lies a place that feels plucked straight out of fantasy, yet sits firmly in the heart of reality. Hobbiton, known around the world as the filming location for The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies, this village has become more than a movie set. It is a living storybook, preserved and waiting for visitors to step inside. Walking through Hobbiton is like stepping into Middle-earth itself. The round hobbit holes dotting the hillsides are impossibly charming, with brightly painted doors and tiny gardens that look tended by unseen hands. Each detail has been crafted to perfection, from the chimneys peeking out of grassy roofs to the tools resting casually by doorsteps, as though the occupants have just stepped away. It is not a replica. It is an immersion, a world that feels alive with imagination. The heart of the village is the Green Dragon Inn, where visitors can sit by the fire and enjoy locally brewed ales and ciders, adding to the sense that this is more than a set. It is a place that welcomes you in. Guided tours weave stories of how the films brought the hills to life, sharing behind-the-scenes insights while keeping the magic intact. Yet beyond its cinematic fame, Hobbiton also captures something deeply Kiwi, the blending of stunning natural landscapes with storytelling that resonates across cultures. Even for those who have never seen the films, the beauty of the rolling farmland, the vibrant gardens, and the meticulous craftsmanship makes Hobbiton a joy to wander. It is a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary adventures are found not in vast mountain ranges or glaciers, but in the details of a small round door opening into a world of wonder. Waiheke Island. Just a short ferry ride from Auckland lies Waiheke Island, a destination where relaxation and sophistication meet in perfect balance. Known for its golden beaches and thriving vineyards, the island offers a pace of life that feels both indulgent and unhurried. It is the kind of place where mornings might begin with a swim in clear waters and afternoons drift into long conversations over a glass of award-winning local wine. Waiheke has become one of the world's premier boutique wine regions, with over 30 vineyards stretching across rolling hills. A visit to Cable Bay or Mudbrick Vineyards combines world-class vintages with sweeping views of the Hauraki Gulf and Auckland skyline shimmering in the distance. Each glass seems to capture the essence of the island itself, fresh, vibrant, and full of character. But Waiheke isn't only about wine. Onaroa Beach, with its crescent of golden sand, invites sunbathers, swimmers, and families to linger along its shore, while more secluded spots like Palm Beach and Wanitangi offer tranquil escapes. Adventurers can take to the island's trails, winding through olive groves and coastal cliffs, or try paddleboarding across the calm bays. What makes Waiheke particularly captivating is how seamlessly it blends sophistication with simplicity. A day might end with gourmet dining at a vineyard restaurant, but the real highlight often comes earlier, watching the sun sink into the sea while locals gather with picnics on the beach. There is a sense of community and ease here, a reminder that luxury doesn't need to be rushed or complicated. On Waiheke, the beauty of the land pairs perfectly with the warmth of the experience, making it one of New Zealand's most treasured escapes. Auckland. Known as the City of Sails, Auckland is New Zealand's largest city. Yet what makes it remarkable is how seamlessly it blends urban sophistication with the raw beauty of nature. Nearly 1/3 of the country's population lives here, but despite the buzz of city life, it never feels far from the wild landscapes that define New Zealand. Auckland is a city that seems to offer everything at once: culture, adventure, history, and outdoor beauty, all wrapped into one. The skyline is dominated by the Sky Tower, rising 328 meters and providing panoramic views of the harbor and surrounding volcanic fields. For thrill seekers, the Sky Tower isn't just an observation deck, it's a playground. The Skywalk challenges visitors to edge along an outdoor platform high above the city, while the Sky Jump offers a controlled freefall that gets the heart racing. Yet just as easily, one can trade skyscrapers for nature with a short ferry ride. Rangitoto Island, a volcanic peak that last erupted about 6 centuries ago, sits just offshore. Hiking to its summit rewards with sweeping views of the Hauraki Gulf and Auckland's sprawling skyline, a reminder of the city's unique geography. Back on the mainland, the Viaduct Harbor buzzes with life. lined with restaurants, cafes, and luxury yachts, a vibrant showcase of Auckland's maritime heritage. But the beauty of Auckland is also in its contrasts. From trendy downtown cafes to serene black sand beaches like Piha on the west coast, the city offers experiences as diverse as its people. It is a place where the modern world thrives, but nature always feels close, waiting just beyond the edge of the skyline. Auckland proves that even in New Zealand's largest metropolis, the spirit of exploration is never far away. Bay of Islands. Far to the north lies a subtropical paradise where history and natural beauty are woven together. The Bay of Islands. With 144 islands scattered across turquoise waters, it is a destination that feels endlessly inviting, each shoreline and cove offering its own unique story. Whether it's a quiet beach hidden away from the world or a bustling harbor alive with activity, the Bay of Islands is a place where time seems to slow down. One of its most iconic natural wonders is Motu Kokoko, better known as the Hole in the Rock. Boat tours often pass right through this massive sea-carved archway, an experience that combines awe with a touch of thrill as waves crash around the vessel. The bay is also one of New Zealand's best spots for dolphin watching, with pods often playing in the surf, and on occasion whales passing through these waters as well. Beyond its natural splendor, the Bay of Islands holds deep historical and cultural significance. It was here, at Waitangi, that the Treaty of Waitangi was signed in 1840 between Maori chiefs and the British Crown, a moment that shaped the nation's history. Today, the Waitangi Treaty Grounds serve as a place of reflection and learning, blending storytelling, cultural performances, and preserved landmarks that bring the past vividly to life. The town of Russell, once notorious as the hellhole of the Pacific for its rowdy whaling past, now charms with quiet seaside streets and colonial-era buildings. Paihia, another hub in the bay, serves as a gateway to the islands, offering access to tours, cruises, and adventure activities on the water. Together, these towns and islands form a destination that captures both the playful joy of island life and the profound weight of history, making the Bay of Islands an unforgettable part of the journey. Stewart Island, Rakiura. Far to the south, where the land begins to surrender to the vastness of the ocean, lies Stewart Island, known to Maori as Rakiura, meaning the land of glowing skies. The name feels fitting, especially at dawn and dusk, when the horizon blazes with brilliant colors that seem to linger longer than anywhere else in New Zealand. This is the country's third largest island, yet it feels worlds apart from the mainland, a sanctuary of wild beauty where nature still holds sway. Stewart Island is renowned for its untouched forests, secluded beaches, and an atmosphere that feels timeless. The majority of the island is protected as Rakiura National Park, ensuring its landscapes remain pristine. Walking through these forests feels like stepping into another era, with bird calls echoing through the trees and the scent of native bush all around. Bird life thrives here, including the cheeky kaka parrot and the elusive kiwi, which is often spotted in the wild more easily here than anywhere else in the country. The small township of Oban serves as the island's heart, a friendly community where visitors find warmth and welcome amid the rugged surroundings. From here, journeys branch outward, kayaking through sheltered bays, fishing in the clear waters, or trekking along the Rakiura Track, one of New Zealand's great walks. Nights bring their own spectacle, as Stewart Island's southern skies glow not just with stars, but sometimes with the shimmering bands of the Aurora Australis, or Southern Lights. There is a sense of stepping back in time on Stewart Island, where life moves at a gentler pace and the focus is on connection to land, sea, and sky. For those who seek solitude and raw beauty, This island is not just a destination, but an experience, a reminder of what it feels like when the natural world takes center stage. Whanganui River Journey. While many of New Zealand's great adventures are measured on trails, the Whanganui River Journey stands apart. It is a great walk that takes place on water, flowing from Mount Tongariro all the way to the Tasman Sea. The Whanganui River carries not just water, but centuries of stories, culture, and spirit. For Maori, the river is a living ancestor, recognized in recent years with the legal status of a person, a reflection of the deep respect and connection the local iwi hold for it. The journey unfolds by canoe or kayak, drifting along 145 kilometers of waterway that winds through gorges, forests, and remote valleys. Each bend in the river reveals new scenes: towering cliffs draped in greenery, waterfalls tumbling into its flow, and quiet stretches where the only sound is the dip of paddles. It is an experience of slowing down, letting the current set the rhythm, and discovering a different kind of adventure, one rooted in patience and presence. Along the way, campsites and huts provide places to rest, often surrounded by the songs of birds and the hum of cicadas. Sacred sites and marae, Maori meeting grounds, line parts of the river, inviting reflection on the cultural importance of this waterway. The highlight for many is the Bridge to Nowhere, an isolated concrete bridge in the heart of the forest, built in the 1930s for a settlement that never thrived. Today, it stands as a haunting monument to history, slowly reclaimed by nature. The Whanganui River Journey is more than a paddle through scenic landscapes. It is an immersion into a story where land, water, and culture are inseparably bound. It leaves a lasting impression, not just for its beauty, but for the feeling of connection it fosters between people and the living world around them. Waitomo Glowworm Caves. Beneath the green hills of the Waikato region lies a hidden world that feels more like stepping into a galaxy than a cave. Waitomo. These caves are world famous for their resident glowworms, tiny creatures that transform the dark into a living constellation. Entering the caves feels like crossing a threshold into silence and wonder, where dripping limestone formations hang like frozen waterfalls and the air carries a cool, damp hush. The true magic begins when the lights are gone and the glowworms begin their show. Thousands of pinpoints of light appear overhead, glowing in soft blues and greens, stretching across the cave ceiling as though the night sky has been pulled underground. A boat ride through the glowworm grotto offers the most surreal experience, floating in darkness, guided only by the shimmering glow above, as if drifting beneath a starry firmament. Beyond the glowworms, Waitomo's caves hold marvels of their own. Stalactites and stalagmites form over thousands of years, sculpting the underground into a gallery of natural art. Adventure seekers can take it further with blackwater rafting, abseiling into the cave systems, and tubing through subterranean rivers, blending adrenaline with awe. But it's the glowworms themselves that linger in memory. Their light isn't just beautiful, it is life's persistence in the dark, nature's quiet reminder that even in hidden places, brilliance thrives. For many, Waitomo is a highlight of New Zealand, not just for the spectacle, but for the way it awakens that childlike sense of wonder, reminding us what it feels like to marvel at something truly extraordinary. Time for another trivia break. New Zealand is home to many unique creatures. Which of these is the world's only alpine parrot? A. Kaka. B. Kea. C. Tui. D. Moorpork. Drop your answer in the comments. All right, let's carry on. Kaikoura. On the east coast of the South Island lies Kaikoura, a place where towering mountains plunge straight into the Pacific Ocean, creating one of the most dramatic coastlines in the country. This unique geography makes Kaikoura a hotspot for marine life, earning it a reputation as one of the best places in the world for whale watching. Few places offer the chance to see such giants so close to shore, And here, sperm whales can be spotted year-round, surfacing with powerful exhales before diving deep into the ocean depths. Dolphins also thrive in these waters, often gathering in pods that leap and spin with infectious energy, while seals lounge lazily on sun-warmed rocks along the coast. During the right season, migrating humpback whales and even orcas pass through, turning the sea into a living stage of natural drama. For bird lovers, Kaikoura is equally captivating, with albatrosses soaring above the waves, their wings spanning over 3 meters. Yet Kaikoura's magic is not limited to its wildlife. The town itself offers a welcoming atmosphere, with cafes and eateries that highlight another treasure of the region: fresh crayfish. In fact, the name Kaikoura comes from Maori words meaning to eat crayfish, and no visit feels complete without sampling this local delicacy. The setting is breathtaking, with snow-capped peaks often visible just beyond the coastline, creating a rare view where mountains and sea meet in dramatic harmony. Whether venturing out on a boat, swimming with dolphins, or simply standing on the shore watching the waves roll in, Kaikoura feels like a meeting point between worlds: land, sea, and sky, converging in one unforgettable place. Coromandel Peninsula. Just a short journey from Auckland lies the Coromandel Peninsula, a place that feels like a natural playground sculpted by coastlines, forests, and hidden wonders. Known for its relaxed vibe and unspoiled beauty, the Coromandel combines postcard-perfect beaches with dramatic landscapes that draw visitors seeking both adventure and tranquility. One of the highlights is Cathedral Cove, a spectacular archway carved into white cliffs that frames turquoise waters beyond. The walk to reach it winds through native bush and opens suddenly to reveal the cove's grandeur, where the sea and rock form a scene so iconic it has graced films and postcards alike. Nearby, Hot Water Beach offers an experience found almost nowhere else. At low tide, visitors dig into the sand to uncover natural hot springs bubbling just beneath the surface, creating personal seaside spas warmed by geothermal heat. But the peninsula is more than its famous beaches. Dense forests cloak the inland ranges, threaded with walking trails that lead to waterfalls and lookout points. The Pinnacles Walk is a standout, rewarding hikers with sweeping views across the peninsula and beyond to the Pacific. The region's charm also lies in its small coastal towns, each with its own character. Whitianga, Coromandel Town, and Thames blend history, local art, and a welcoming spirit that captures the peninsula's easygoing lifestyle. The Coromandel is a reminder of New Zealand's ability to surprise, where one day can be spent soaking in natural hot pools at the beach, and the next hiking to a rugged summit with the ocean stretched endlessly before you. It is a place where simplicity and beauty intertwine, offering experiences that stay with travelers long after the tide rolls back out. Marlborough Sounds. At the top of the South Island lies a labyrinth of sea-drowned valleys known as the Marlborough Sounds. This network of winding waterways, secluded bays, and forested headlands creates one of New Zealand's most enchanting coastal regions, where land and sea weave together in endless patterns of green and blue. The sounds are best explored from the water, with boats, kayaks, and ferries weaving through channels that reveal new vistas around every bend. Dolphins often swim alongside vessels, leaping in and out of the waves with joyful energy, while seals bask on rocks and rare seabirds circle overhead. For those who prefer to explore on land, the Queen Charlotte Track offers days of hiking or cycling along ridges and coastal paths, providing sweeping views of bays that seem untouched by time. Beyond the scenery, Marlborough is world famous for another treasure, its wine. The region produces some of the best Sauvignon Blanc in the world, and visiting the vineyards that dot the landscape adds a delicious layer to the experience. The combination of fresh seafood, crisp wine, and breathtaking scenery makes the sounds a feast for all the senses. Despite its beauty, there is a quietness to the Marlborough Sounds. Remote coves can feel like private worlds, accessible only by boat, where the stillness is broken only by the call of a bird or the lapping of gentle waves. It is a destination that invites lingering, where the pace slows and every view feels like it was crafted just for you. In the interplay of sea and land, the Marlborough Sounds embody the peaceful side of New Zealand's wild heart. Mount Taranaki. Rising in perfect symmetry from the surrounding plains, Mount Taranaki is one of New Zealand's most striking volcanic peaks, often compared to Japan's Mount Fuji for its near-flawless cone shape. Standing at 2,518 meters, this dormant volcano is both awe-inspiring and deeply significant, carrying cultural importance for Maori, who regard it as sacred. Seen from afar, it dominates the skyline. Seen up close, it feels like stepping into a myth. Egmont National Park encircles the mountain, offering trails that wind through lush forests, alpine meadows, and mossy swamps before opening to views of the volcanic peak. The Puakai Crossing, often considered a rival to the famous Tongariro Alpine Crossing, is a day-long trek that reveals the mountain's rugged grandeur. Its most iconic moment is found at the Puakai Tarns, where still waters reflect the mountain's shape so perfectly it creates one of the most photographed scenes in all of New Zealand. Mount Taranaki has another claim to fame: its role as a backdrop in films, thanks to its dramatic profile and often snow-dusted summit. Yet beyond the cinematic, the mountain draws visitors for its sheer sense of presence. The weather here is known to shift quickly, sometimes cloaking the peak in mist, then revealing it again in dazzling clarity. This unpredictability adds to its mystique, as though the mountain reveals itself only when it chooses. Whether admired from a distance or explored along its slopes, Mount Taranaki feels more than a geological feature. It is a presence, both beautiful and commanding, a reminder of the forces that shape New Zealand and the reverence that such landscapes inspire. Hokitika Gorge. Hidden on the west coast of the South Island lies a place that feels almost unreal, the Hokitika Gorge. At first glance, it seems like a trick of the eye, but the water really is that striking shade of turquoise. Fed by glacial melt, the river carves its way through the gorge, creating a scene so vivid it looks painted. Surrounded by native forest and gray rock, the color of the water stands out like liquid light, shimmering under the sun or glowing softly on cloudy days. A short walk leads to a suspension bridge that spans the gorge, offering sweeping views of the river twisting below. Standing here, the sound of rushing water and the scent of damp forest make the experience immersive, a sensory reminder that this beauty is alive and ever-changing. Trails continue through lush bushland, with lookout points that reveal the gorge from different angles, each one just as breathtaking as the last. Hokitika Gorge is more than just a stop for a photograph. It's a place that captures the magic of contrast. The tranquil forest frames the rushing, impossibly blue waters, while the stillness of the bush deepens the roar of the river. Nearby, the town of Hokitika adds another layer to the experience. Known for its punamu, greenstone carving, a Maori treasure with deep cultural meaning. Few places capture such an intense, almost dreamlike beauty in such a compact space. Hokitika Gorge may not have the scale of a fjord or glacier, but it leaves just as strong an impression. It is proof that sometimes the most extraordinary sights are tucked quietly into the landscape, waiting for those willing to wander just a little further to discover them. Punakaiki Pancake Rocks. On the rugged west coast of the South Island lies one of New Zealand's most curious geological wonders, the Pancake Rocks of Punakaiki. These layered limestone formations, weathered over millions of years by wind and sea, rise from the shoreline like stacks of giant pancakes piled high against the ocean's edge. The sight alone is enough to spark amazement, but it's the sound and movement of the waves that transform the rocks into a living spectacle. During high tide, blowholes roar to life, sending jets of seawater shooting into the air with a thunderous force that echoes across the coast. The combination of dramatic sprays, booming sounds, and the rhythmic crash of waves creates a performance that feels choreographed by the ocean itself. Walking along the paths and viewing platforms that wind through the site, visitors are treated to a front row seat to one of nature's most spectacular displays. The surrounding area is just as enchanting. The coastal vegetation, with its dense flax and nikau palms, creates a subtropical feel that contrasts with the raw power of the Tasman Sea. Trails nearby lead to quiet beaches and lookouts, where sunsets paint the layered rocks in hues of orange and gold. Punakaiki is not just about unusual rock formations. It's about the experience of being immersed in a landscape where geology, sea, and sky interact in a dynamic dance. The Pancake Rocks stand as a reminder of how time and natural forces can sculpt something both whimsical and awe-inspiring, offering a moment where curiosity and wonder rise with every crashing wave. Lake Wanaka. In the heart of the Southern Alps lies Lake Wanaka, a destination that captures the essence of New Zealand's alpine charm. The lake stretches like a mirror, reflecting snow-capped peaks and endless skies, its surface shifting from tranquil blues to shimmering silvers depending on the light. The town of Wanaka, set on its shores, radiates a warmth that feels both welcoming and adventurous, perfectly balancing relaxation with exploration. Perhaps the most famous image of Wanaka is that Wanaka tree, a lone willow rising from the lake's shallows, often photographed against a backdrop of mountains and skies that change dramatically with the seasons. But while the tree has become iconic, the lake offers so much more than a single scene. In summer, Wanaka is alive with activity, kayaking, paddleboarding, and boating across the glassy waters. Trails like Roy's Peak climb high above the town, rewarding hikers with panoramic views of the lake and surrounding mountains, a vista so expansive it takes the breath away. In winter, Wanaka transforms into a snowy haven, with nearby ski fields like Treble Cone drawing enthusiasts from around the world. Yet Wanaka also knows how to slow down. Its lakeside paths invite leisurely strolls, cafes spill out onto sunlit streets, and evenings often end with the sky glowing pink as the sun dips behind the Alps. It is this balance between thrill and peace, activity and stillness, that defines Wanaka. The lake doesn't just reflect the mountains, it reflects the essence of New Zealand itself, where beauty and adventure exist in perfect harmony. 90 Mile Beach. At the very tip of New Zealand's North Island lies a place where the land seems to stretch forever, 90 Mile Beach. Despite its name, it spans about 55 miles, 88 kilometers. But standing at its edge, the horizon feels endless, the golden sands blending seamlessly into sea and sky. This vast beach is more than a scenic wonder. It's also officially classified as a highway, though only the most adventurous travelers dare to drive its shifting sands. The experience of 90 Mile Beach is one of contrasts. Waves from the Tasman Sea pound rhythmically against the shore, while behind the beach rise towering sand dunes that ripple in the wind. Adventurers climb these dunes to race back down on bodyboards, a thrilling ride that feels equal parts fun and surreal. The beach also carries cultural significance, as it plays a role in Maori traditions and mythology, adding layers of meaning to its wild beauty. At sunset, 90 Mile Beach becomes a canvas of color, with the vast sands glowing orange and gold before fading into soft purples as night falls. The immensity of the landscape creates a sense of solitude and reflection, where the world feels wide open and boundless. For many, this beach marks more than the northern edge of New Zealand. It marks the edge of the familiar, a threshold where land, culture, and sea converge in dramatic harmony. Trivia. Time before our last stop. Which of these islands lies farthest from mainland New Zealand? A. Stewart Island. B. Chatham Islands. C. Waiheke Island. D. Great Barrier Island. Share your guess in the comments before discovering the answer on this final leg of the adventure. Chatham Islands. Far to the east of New Zealand's main islands, more than 800 kilometers out in the Pacific Ocean, lie the Chatham Islands, a remote and mysterious archipelago that few travelers ever reach. These islands feel like another world entirely, where rugged coastlines meet windswept plains and life unfolds at a slower, more elemental pace. The Chathams are home to fewer than 1,000 residents, yet their cultural and natural heritage is immense. The Maori people, indigenous to the islands, have a history and traditions distinct from Maori, offering a unique insight into Polynesian settlement and adaptation in remote environments. This cultural depth intertwines with European influences and the rhythms of island life, creating a community that is both resilient and welcoming. Nature here is strikingly raw. Towering cliffs drop into the roaring ocean, winds whip across wide, open landscapes, and the night skies shine with a clarity found only in isolated places. The islands are also a sanctuary for wildlife, hosting species found nowhere else, including the endangered Chatham Island oystercatcher and the black robin, a bird saved from the brink of extinction through careful conservation. For visitors, the experience of the Chathams is not about polished attractions or bustling sights. It's about immersion. It's about standing on a cliff edge with the Pacific stretching endlessly before you, learning the deep cultural history that shapes the islands, or simply listening to the sound of wind and waves uninterrupted by modern noise. The Chatham Islands remind travelers what it means to step completely off the map, to find wonder not in crowds or landmarks, but in the vast, untamed edges of the world. From the mist-shrouded cliffs of Milford Sound to the golden sweep of 90 Mile Beach and the wind-swept remoteness of the Chatham Islands, New Zealand reveals itself as a land of endless surprises. Every stop tells a different story, some written in rock and ice, others carried in Maori traditions or sung by the voices of birds and waves. Together, they reveal a country where beauty wears many faces: fiery volcanoes, vast glaciers, tranquil lakes, lush forests, vibrant cities, and distant islands that feel like secrets waiting to be uncovered. What makes New Zealand so magical is not only the grandeur of its landscapes, but the way each destination feels alive, each with its own personality and rhythm. Adventure and serenity coexist here. History and culture enrich every view, and even hidden corners rival the icons. From stargazing at Lake Tekapo to paddling the Wanganui River, each journey becomes more than sightseeing. It becomes connection, discovery, and memory. So, where would you go first? If this journey through the unknown treasures of New Zealand sparked your curiosity, don't stop here. Subscribe for more off-the-map adventures, where breathtaking destinations, hidden gems, and fascinating stories come together. Share in the comments which place from this journey calls to you the most. Milford Sound's grandeur, Waiheke's golden beaches, or maybe the remote beauty of the Chatham Islands. Until the next adventure, travel safe, stay curious, and keep exploring the wonders that make our world extraordinary.